Hello, this is the Pause and Proceed podcast with your host, SB.
And I'm your girl, Bridgett LaRé.
And we are here today. And I guess we're talking about
relationships.
So this topic has kind of been avoided. Remember?
What?
Do you remember when I suggested it? Like, who knows? Oh, first of all, this is episode number 20.
Yay!
Solomon.
Look at us.
Oh, it's the clap.
Oh, you wanted him to?
Yes. That
There
deserved
you
that.
go.
Yeah, we need
There you go.
confetti
There you go.
and balloons, all of that, y'all. Like, being
Yes.
consistent, like, I'm proud of us.
Me too.
Yeah, I really
Me
am proud
too.
of us.
Yeah, I think friends and family that know me probably was
Yeah.
like, how long she gonna be doing this?
Real. See, that goes to our private conversation.
Yes,
Right.
yes. What is it? We can make it public. What was we
Oh,
saying?
but okay, so I think we talked about briefly, guys. I'm supposed to be moving, so we don't know what's gonna happen to our podcast. But me and Bridgett, we so like willy-nilly. We're like, hey, well, we're just gonna create, and if it works out, yay, whatever. But it's like, you know what? I haven't been consistent with something other than work.
Yeah. Oh, because you don't
'Cause
work,
you
you
gotta
don't
work,
eat,
right?
honey.
I haven't been really consistent with something creative in such a long time. And I'm like, I feel like if we really focus and really, I'm not gonna say we don't take it serious, but it comes pretty natural to us. You know what I mean? But if we really kind of just like, you know what, let's build. Let's not destroy it. Let's just see what happens, because the consistency is good.
Yeah, man. I
You know?
haven't. Yes, consistency has definitely been a struggle.
Yes.
But I will say,
Mhm.
like, consistency with anything, since we're on the topic of relationships,
Right.
I do realize, like, once I get bored with something and the energy dies down,
Yeah.
I'm just like completely over it. And it's really challenging to stay in the mojo of things.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, like the fun is gone. Like,
But is the fun gone?
oh, you mean in
No.
this?
No.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if you want to answer that, but I mean in general terms, like, because I think sometimes and we know this rationally speaking, everything can't always be fun.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's that part of our brain. I guess you have to push through. Like, all right, like it's not gonna always be fun. So let's, I guess you have to rationalize that somehow in your brain.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Yeah. So as far as relationships wise,
Mhm.
I think the honeymoon stage is always so much fun to me. Like we getting to know each other, we're dating, we're going
Mhm.
out. Like you getting to know me, I'm telling you all the things that I think is cool about me, and he's sharing the same thing. And then it's like, okay, once I get to know somebody and it gets serious,
Uh-huh.
and I realize like, oh, this could be something. I realize, man, I will start to sabotage the relationship. Like self-sabotage. I'll start pushing them away
Mhm.
or just needing time to myself. I need some space. Like like you always up under me.
Do
You're
you
calling me
really
every day.
like the person though?
I do.
You
That's
do?
the
You
thing.
okay?
Yes.
So this has been a pattern
It's
with
been
you.
a pattern.
Okay.
I've been consistent
Okay.
at that.
Consistent at that.
I've
right.
been very
I like how
consistent at
we
that.
segue from the consistency to, general consistency to consistency with the relationship.
Yeah.
All right, go on ahead.
So, and I do realize that, a therapist would base it off of the things of the past.
Mhm.
And what's so funny is I had a revelation the other day, and it must have been the Holy Spirit because it just dropped on me. And I was like, oh my
drop.
God, come on, Holy Spirit, drop, rain down on me.
For real.
So I had a revelation, and I realized, like, man, a lot of the people that I've been connecting with has
Mhm.
been trauma bonds. And we communicated through trauma, and it has been very toxic. And my revelation was like, oh, that's how all of my relationships has been. From the very
Yeah.
first start. I'm talking high school.
She told me some gnarly things about her relationships in her
Man.
past. Like, yeah, it was gnarly. Yeah,
Yeah.
in a real way.
Gnarly?
Yes. That's my
Okay.
that's my LA talk. I'm sorry. But
Gnarly,
yeah, it,
dude.
it it was like it was wild. Let's just say
Yeah.
wow, you know. It
Yeah.
was pretty wild and traumatic.
Yeah. Well, to just let you all in on what SB is talking about, it's gnarly about my relationships.
Leave my jargon alone.
Your
Go
country
ahead.
self.
And
I'm country too. My family originally from Carrollton, Georgia.
you're from the Midwest.
I'm from
Everybody know
the Midwest.
Is very
We're very
country for
country.
sure.
I didn't realize how country we were until I moved here to California. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's lights everywhere. Where I'm from, like, it's no lights. Like, we used to roam the streets in the dark.
Y'all are
Like,
cousins.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Everybody
Seriously.
cousins.
Right.
Yeah. So, what's gnarly about my first relationship?
Mhm.
It was this guy. He was so sweet. I loved and adored him so much. And he
Mhm.
had this beautiful singing voice. So he used to sing to me, used to serenade me. I was like, oh my God, that is my man. And I remember it was like around prom time. He went to a
Yeah.
different school than me. And he went, not prom, it was like some dance.
Okay.
And so he was going with a friend, him and
Mhm.
his friends. And he was a good guy. Like, his mom did not play that. He was such a good guy. And he didn't even party. So for him to even go to that party, I was like, oh, you going? So him and a friend, apparently they stopped somewhere. The friend was selling like some marijuana to some
Mhm.
people.
Yeah.
And the guys who they sold the marijuana to ended up following them and like shooting the car. They did a drive by and he was killed in the gunfire. So I'm like, well, damn,
That was that's traumatic.
very
But that
traumatic.
would you say that wasn't necessarily a trauma bond, that particular relationship?
No, that one was not particularly a trauma bond, no. But
Okay.
we did talk a lot about, life and um, things of that matter.
How old
But,
were you guys?
I was about 15.
15.
I was about
Okay.
15.
Okay. And what about the
With
next
that,
one?
oh God, the next one. Okay, this was like 16. So the next one, I'm like, what, I think I just was attracting like trauma into my life. I don't let me back up from there. Like, I had a
Mhm.
childhood friend. She was in a relationship with an older guy. I was about 14 at the time. Actually 13 because she was about 15.
Okay.
And she was messing with an older guy. And
Mhm.
it was like a friend in the neighborhood. And
How
I
old was he?
he probably was in his 20s.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think she was like breaking up with him or something. And
Mhm.
he got so crazy, he like kicked down the door, shot and killed her. And like, I've just had a lot of like, when it comes to relationships, I just seen so much trauma that when things
Yeah.
start to get good, I would sabotage it because I would think like, oh no,
It's a pr
subconsciously trauma's gonna come.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna die. So I was like,
Ooh.
damn, I've equated relationships with death.
Oh, and that's imprinted in your
And
brain.
I just had this revelation the other day, like, no wonder why you don't take it seriously. You don't take relationships seriously. Like, me, I sabotage in that
Yeah.
aspect. Because then when I was 16, I had a younger guy we were like the same age. And I had a friend, and she and I used to hang out like in these projects. My grandma lived across the street from the projects, and
Mhm.
my friend lived in the projects, right?
Right.
And I had my boyfriend was my age. She dated this older guy that had his own apartment in the projects, right?
Mhm.
And the older guy didn't like that she hung out with me and my boyfriend used to have his friends around, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
it was a lot of conflict between the two of them. And like he ended up telling me, my boyfriend, like, well, either we're gonna have sex or it's gonna be my way or the highway. And I was like, well, nobody tell me it's gonna be my way or the highway. Because other than being molested at like 9, I hadn't had sex. And,
Yeah.
16 at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna choose the highway. And so that was the last time I talked to this guy. And like a month later, come to find out my friend's boyfriend killed him, killed my guy, it was like, and then he started stalking me, to try to get me to not tell the police that they had this animosity between each other because he
Hmm.
told the police like they found him literally butt naked in this guy's kitchen. So he lied and said that he tried
What?
to. Girl, I'm
Naked?
like, what did you do to him?
Right.
So he lied and said he tried to, to rob him.
Sound like some Snowfall action.
Yeah,
If you
so
know, you know.
girl.
You know,
Oh, listen, y'all. Let me tell y'all, this is so much like,
shit.
and even in writing my books, like I put these stories in my book, but even in the writing, I wasn't connecting that this had a lot to do with me and relationships and the way that I view them. You
That's
know?
interesting because a lot of times when you writing it out, that's when it kind of like it's like your mirror.
Yeah. But I wasn't
Interesting.
writing it. I wasn't thinking like that. I was just like, let me, I'm gonna share my story. I know
Yeah.
I have some very colorful stories in my
Right.
life.
Right.
Um, but in writing, I just didn't connect it to like who I am today. It
Right.
was just like, oh, let me tell you this story. Let me get this out to show
Yeah.
people that it doesn't matter. Because in my books, I do connect God in a lot of it because it's
Mhm.
about connecting the dots and seeing that God has always been there for me and with me through it all.
Yeah.
And man, and that's just man, I can go on every single relationship, honey. I'll tell you two more, and then I'll let y'all imagine. Then y'all can read the book to find out the rest.
Yeah.
So then, I had another relationship with this guy, and I'm from Dayton, Ohio, and Dayton, Ohio was like all about cars. It was a lot of for me, I hung around a lot of drug dealers.
Yeah.
So a lot of my boyfriends were drug dealers, and I had this one boyfriend. He had a lot of money and cars everywhere, and I remember one time he ended up he had his own place. He ended up coming home and was saying to me like, "Oh, are you messing with such and such?" I'm like, "What?" He accused me of cheating him with some other drug dealer. I'm like, "I don't even know. I know of him, but I didn't know
Yeah.
him." Right? So then he just cut the conversation short, got in his car, like this nice old school car. That's why I'm a lover of old school cars too. That's why I had to go to Cuba because I'm like, I love old school cars.
Oh.
But anyway, so he get in his car and he literally drives down the street and speeding. I get in my car and following him because I'm like, oh my God, he's so erratic and crazy. I'm like, I don't know what's about to happen. Girl, he stops in the middle of like Third and Main, the two major intersections,
Mhm.
and get out the car. And he had like some beers in his car. And he start handing beers to people like, I'm Moses and Jesus is coming back. And it was just so traumatic. And then, the police end up taking him not to jail, but to like a psychiatric center. So here I am, like 17, 18 years old, visiting my boyfriend in a psychiatric center. And
Did
I
he get
remember,
out?
yeah, he got out.
Was he okay when he got out?
Um, at that yeah. I think he's doing okay. He probably hate that I don't keep in contact with him, but he probably hate that I shared this information. I don't say
Yeah.
his name, but I
Right.
write about it. I share the story like it's been a part of my life.
Right.
And yeah, he's doing well.
That's good.
He's
That's
doing
good
well.
that he's doing okay.
But it's just like I feel like I've just had so many traumatic relationships. And then one after that, I had this guy, like we were engaged
Mhm.
and we will break up and get back together, break up and get back together. And this is like he proposed to me one day on a breakup. So I'm like, okay, I said yes, but the ring didn't fit. So I was like, I ain't telling nobody about this engagement. So you give me the right ring and the right color,
Yeah.
right? And so literally the next day I had a friend over and it was a guy friend. We were nothing but platonic friends. He knew
Mhm.
about him.
Yeah.
And he come banging on the door. He like, "You got some nigga in there? Like, come outside." And he had this bet, and my friend in my house with a gun. He like, "You want me to shoot this nigga?" I'm like, "No, don't shoot him. Don't shoot him." And then so he yells out, like, "That's why I've been cheating on your ass." I'm like, "What?" Like, that was huge for me because he knew that because I had a cousin who I literally watched wither away,
Yeah.
die from HIV. And so before we even got together,
Yeah.
we got tested, and so
Right.
I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like, we know neither one of us got anything. I'm thinking
Right.
he's faithful. Like, he's just this little scrawny dude who I'm thinking
Right.
is so faithful to me. So when he's like, "That's why I've been cheating on your ass." So I'm like, "What?" And so I had my friend leave. I'm like, "Oh, this one got serious." And he commenced to tell me that he's been cheating on me, sleeping with prostitutes, and that he thought he had AIDS. And so here I am sitting there, boohoo crying like, "Oh my God, I could have AIDS right
How old were you?
now." I was about 20, 22, 23, something between 22 and
The
24.
devil. The
Yeah. But it
devil.
was just so I didn't have AIDS, but it's so crazy. Like when you do go get tested, it's like they play mind games with you at the clinic.
Cause
I'm like, just tell me, do I fucking got it or not?
we just extra nervous because we already know what like the apprehension
Yes,
is anxiety stricken.
girl.
Yeah, it really is. It really
So that's
is.
a little touch of my relationship history, and there's so much more.
Well, I'm definitely it's definitely very vivid and colorful.
Mhm.
I mean, the hoods of America, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh
I
my
just
god.
tell you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm glad that you're able to connect the dots because then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, first up, acknowledgement. And then you can just start kind of working on yourself from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's good because I know
Yeah.
that's a thing. Like I know, we all want that person, so
Man, so
yay to you.
just the awareness of it, like just how that has really impacted my view of relationships. And I didn't even realize that.
That's deep.
I'm just like floored that I didn't realize. I'm like, how did you not connect this? I didn't want to see it. You know what I mean? It was like I was attracting unavailable people. It was because I was unhealed.
Yeah.
And I was only attracting people that were unhealed. I kind of felt like I
Yeah.
was driving these men crazy. 'Cause I'm like, how I have two how I have so many like psychotic men in my life. You know what I mean? It was just well, that's what I was attracted to because I had to look at it like I'm the common denominator. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. That energy is real. The energy you put out, that's what you'll get back, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn, I don't even know what to say about that.
Girl,
I don't. Like,
it's a lie. Like
it is a
it has
lot.
been a lot, and um I just feel like that's a revelation, and it has really expanded my viewpoint on relationships
Hmm.
and just make me feel like I'm ready to give it a fair chance
Right,
with
right,
a, open mind, with a clear mind. Just
right.
knowing the reason as to why it's
Yeah.
been such a struggle. Cause it's like I've been praying, I'm over here praying, right? And I'm
Mhm.
like, Lord, bless me with, the man of my dreams. Bless me with my soulmate. And I'm working, doing all these manifestations to manifest a beautiful relationship
Yeah.
on one end, right? But then I'm over here subconsciously not truly believing in it, not
That
not even
part.
aware that I had all these reservations and these self-sabotages against relationships.
Right.
So it's like, you know, I can't blame God because he's like, okay, you got to let go of the past. It's like I've been living in the wake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When just to explain the wake, like when the boat takes off in the water, you see the trail behind it. That's the wake. That's the little trail that it leaves in the water. That's the wake. So it's like instead of me operating from the engine, the current energy that's pulling the boat forward, I've been trying to operate in the wake, the
Mhm.
past, the things
Yeah.
of the past,
Yeah.
unbeknownst to me. So it's like, okay, now it's time for me to get in the driver's seat and operate off this present energy, having a vision.
Right. I'm thinking about I feel like the only traumatic experience that I've had dating was my high school slash college boyfriend. And I'll just say, he was young and he liked the ladies. He was the basketball guy, popular guy, he was that guy. And I was just tired of the shit. Make a long story short, by the
Right.
time we got to college, because that nursing program, I was like, listen, we in school. I need to be focused. I can't be worried about, what you're doing.
Y'all went to the
And I
same
think,
college?
yeah, we
Oh,
did.
okay.
And the thing is, I think by that time, you know how you just get fed up and
Yeah,
just
it's
don't
like
even
I'm
care
yeah,
anymore. You know what
yeah.
I mean? So I had got to that point. Clearly he was not. So I remember, and I think we were broken up at this time, but it's that weird, it's complicated phase. You still
Right.
messing with him. And he asked me, I think he was pissed off about I'm just using all type of language today, but it's okay. He was upset with me about something. I don't know. I wasn't paying him any attention. I'm focused.
Mhm.
Nursing is
Oh
hard. Oh
god.
my God,
That's schooling?
those thick books that we had to lug around.
Right.
I had a rolling book bag. Couldn't even
Exactly.
put it on my back. But yeah, he was upset about something. I wasn't paying him any attention. So I think we had hung out before and he loved something. Oh, he needed a ride. He called me for a ride. So I went up to school so he can go get his car. I went up to school. It was late. It probably was like 9 o'clock at night. Went to the dorms, picked him up. I think he asked why I didn't call him back. And I was like, listen, I'm busy. I'm studying, you know? So I knew he was going to say something to trigger me, you know, poke the bear a little bit. But at this time, I'm so desensitized. Whatever you say, I'm over it. So I don't care.
Right.
Like, whatever. So I don't know how we got from like just talking about how busy I was. He ended up calling me a bitch. And I just laughed because I knew that's what he was gonna do, you
Mhm.
know? And I'm like, let me just take you to your car so I can get the hell on, you know? So he kept asking me questions and I was driving, ignoring him. He was like, oh, you're not gonna answer. So he took my little Coach purse and threw it out the window.
Oh.
Yeah. So, that caused me to slam on the brakes and start cussing him out. So what I did was I parked my car on the side of the road and I just got out the car. Cause I'm like, I can't be in this same energy. I'm just gonna walk home and that be that. I'm walking for like 2 minutes and I hear somebody running behind me. And he's a football player. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, doosh, doosh, doosh.
Right.
There's somebody running behind me. And he just snatched me up. And he didn't hit me, but he roughed me up enough. Like slammed me on the ground and was
Damn.
slinging me, you know, in a random person's yard. I'm trying to run to the neighbor's door so I can call somebody. Cause at this time, I didn't even have a cell phone. I think this was like 2000. People had cell phones, but I was kind of late to the party.
Right.
So this was probably 2004. Yeah, probably like 2000, maybe 2003. Yeah, it was 2003. So make a long story short, I hit him and, you know, we tussling. And he finally left and left me alone. But I think about, because honestly, I haven't been in a lot of relationships. I've been in 2 relationships. I've been in that relationship, and then I've been in a relationship with a woman.
As an
So,
adult?
as an adult,
Okay.
yes. So, I am truly Gemini bisexual situation.
Okay.
2 and 1 and 1.
Okay, Gemini.
Um, so I look at that and I'm like, I wonder why, you know, like, has that affected me in a way where I haven't been able to really um connect with men? Because in my 20s, I feel like I was letting people choose me and not choose
Oh,
people.
girl.
And he
Yes.
chose me. I think about that. He actually chose me. I didn't choose him. He
Mm.
chose me. Or it was the interest. I
Mhm.
found out he had an interest in me. You know, he's like, oh, okay. And I opened up my mind. Of course, I started liking
Mhm.
him. But I noticed the chosen pattern throughout my 20s. So it's just weird how things can you know, the brain is so fragile and people don't realize how fragile the brain is. And like, we're adult women going back 20 years
Oh my
ago,
God.
you know, digging through the archives, trying to figure out how the events that happened in the past, how it's affecting us now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like that was your only relationship with a man. Period.
Period.
Wow.
Mhm. I mess with, you know, I've dated, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
they normally don't stick around for longer than like 6, 8 months. I
Oh.
get annoyed after a while.
Oh, in California, that's a long relationship. 6, 8
It
months.
is. I haven't had any. Oh, in California, I think the longest, oh God. I think I've only messed with maybe or dated maybe 2 people here in my whole 8 years.
Oh.
2 women, and I don't think it lasts longer than maybe 4 or 5 months. And then
Mm.
I was like, 4 years, nothing, y'all.
So
When I
did you
mean nothing, I mean nothing.
girl,
Nothing.
I get it. I get it. I was 6. I was 6 years when I
Oh!
tell you nothing. 6, but I had a lot of mental work to do, cleansing. And you see, I didn't even get it all the
Right.
way done.
Right. That's how deep it
It's a journey. Like
is. It's
you'll
a
never get it all the way
journey.
done.
It's a
But yeah,
voyage. It's definitely on that boat. What you talking about? The wavy? What you call it? The boat
the
when you look at the
wake,
wake.
the
Oh
wake. Looking
yeah,
back at that
it's
wake,
a
like
journey. That wake trailing right behind you.
yes.
Yeah,
So, did you always like women, or did that kind of
yeah.
draw you towards
No,
the
no, no. It
opposite,
wasn't like
the
oh
same sex?
because I think I didn't even realize how. I guess because the fact you know. I don't know. Our mentalities when you're young. The fact that he didn't hit me, I didn't think of as that much of a big deal. Too
He's slamming you
much.
around like you one of the football players.
I know. And I hate to, and I'm just gonna segue to this really quickly because it just lets you know the mentality of a young person. I hate
Mhm.
to say this, but I remember when the whole thing with Rihanna and Chris Brown happened.
Mhm.
And I remember, man, whew, forgive me because I love me some Rihanna, but I remember seeing a picture and I was like, oh, that's not that bad.
Mhm.
That's deep.
Oh, yeah.
That's like,
Yeah.
really? And I look at that picture now as an adult, and I'm like, he, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he,
Mm.
he worked her up a little
Hey,
bit.
yeah, I remember that picture. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was it
yeah.
was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty bad, but for me to say that, I'm like, "Damn," and even my friends, we talk about it now, and I think one of my friends actually apologized because they would joke about it because it's not funny, but, Black people, we just, trauma, we gotta make it into laughter,
Yeah.
but I remember when I knocked on the lady door because at first she didn't wanna answer. Like, she was like, upstairs yelling, saying, "I don't wanna get involved, like, what's going on upstairs?
Oh.
I don't wanna get involved." And I was like, "Ma'am, I just need to use your phone." So, when he was about to leave, he had yelled at the lady, he was like, "Yeah, ma'am, you don't want this bitch on your lawn," and he just walked off, and that was my friends would quote that because we thought it was funny, but that's the mentality, the jacked up mentality of trauma. It's just unbelievable when you're a young person, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because
Yeah.
now they apologized for it, but I was laughing too, y'all, so,
Yeah. But you just don't
yeah.
realize like what sticks with you
Yeah,
and what you carry into adulthood with you. You know what I
for
mean?
real.
Like you've never had a relationship with a man after that.
Mm-mm,
So
just
will you
messing
give a
around.
yeah. So in the future, will you give a man a chance?
Absolutely. I love women and men. I love people, okay? Um,
Who do you want to end up with ultimately? What
a
do you
good
who do you see?
person.
Okay.
A good
Okay.
person. People ask me that all the time. The woman, the man. Who it's like it's whoever that I can have a strong connection with, that we can complement each other and we can ride this thing out in life. That's who I want to be with. It ain't about what's going on down there, which I understand why people have their apprehensions, especially women.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But, there's things for that. Um, but yeah, I just want a great, amazing person, that I am attracted to intellectually and physically.
Yeah.
Or if you're just a great person, a lot of times when it, it's not, why I say physically is because not majority, some of y'all have been real, but a lot of times I would, oh, this person's nice, okay, let me give them a try. And then I realized, like, I'm not attracted to this person,
Yeah.
and I knew I wasn't physically attracted to the person initially, but it's like, well, let me see,
Mhm.
because I do like a person for a person. And I know, because even with my first boyfriend, I wasn't necessarily, like, initially physically
Your
attracted to
only
him, but
boyfriend.
yeah, my only
Yeah.
boyfriend. You gotta correct me.
I'm just saying 'cause you said it like it was another
Correct
one.
me. But yeah, that guy. Yeah, like, but I thought his personality, he had a swag, like, that came on. I was like, okay, this'll work. So I always
So you
thought
like the
about that.
playboys.
I'm not gonna say that because I wasn't looking at him.
Mhm.
I wasn't looking at him until he was looking at me,
Right. Yeah. I get that. I get
But
it.
it did set a precedence because I feel like he's had an influence. He would buy me stuff like clothes, and he bought me my first little purse and my Jordans and, bags and stuff.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think he set a precedence for certain things,
Mhm.
for sure. But I forgot what I was saying about that.
So what
But
I let's talk about what we want in a relationship.
mhm,
Um I feel like for me, I definitely want someone who can hold a conversation, who's
mhm,
emotionally stable, someone who loves people
yeah,
and that can teach me things.
mhm,
Because, as a coach, I will find myself turning someone that I meet into like a project. And I like a man that
mm,
like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I mean? Like, put me in my place because
yeah,
I am a lioness and I can get really like bossy.
mhm,
And I know that. And that's something I know I got to work on myself. Ain't up to nobody to put me in my place. But I do like for a man to like step up and just kind of be a little aggressive.
Mm.
Um, and then some definitely somebody who loves to travel.
Yeah.
I know I was dating a guy and like he was afraid to get on the airplane. I'm like, oh, we would never work. Like I need to catch a flight like tomorrow.
I was dating a guy that said that he can watch the Discovery Channel and he can be okay without
Oh
traveling.
no.
Yeah, it's like, well, I really ain't gotta travel. I could just watch Discovery Channel. I'd be good to
Why you
go. And
make him
I'm
sound
like,
so stupid?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't
no, this ain't
know.
gonna work, bro. This ain't gonna work.
I still was like, and when he said that, I was like, I don't know,
Yeah.
but let's see, ain't got nothing else to do.
Look, like
Yeah,
no, no. So that's the thing. I've just been dating because I ain't had nothing else
I
to do.
had nothing
Just
else to
spending
do.
time with people when I know there's no
Anybody
connection.
doing that?
And so like now I'm like, man,
No more.
I'm attracting my soulmate. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? And at this moment, I just really feel like for one of the things I'm focusing on is finishing the third book to the
Yeah.
first 33 series. So I'm like, let me just focus my energy on completing a lot of the unfinished projects that I have in my life. And I'm not saying that I'm not looking for a man or have open to one, but you know, I just need to put myself in a certain energy to attract
That's
what I
it.
do want.
Focus on what you got going on, and that's gonna come. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Continue to work on yourself. Use that energy that you were like so focused, like, oh, I want a man. I want a man. I want a man. Lose that energy.
Why you have to make me look like that? I want a man. I want a man. I want a man.
Cause it's
I was
true.
dating like I was on a show, wasn't
That's what I'm
I, girl?
saying. Have you seen Love is Blind?
Girl, I love it. I only watched season 4 because of Brett and Tiffany. Like when they
Oh,
met, I was like, they are gonna fall in love and they are gonna be the most beautiful couple.
listen. So y'all, apparently I got my hair done. And I was over my friend's house this past Sunday. And I don't watch stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, she's talking about, you watch Love is Blind? I was like, girl, I mean, shoot, you doing my hair, might as well watch it. Like, let me
Right,
see. She was
yeah.
like, let's see, you might like it. Guys, that thing, it takes you, is so layered
Mm-hmm.
because you meet the people, well, they meet, and you think, okay, that's it. They're gonna, go on happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's the honeymoon thing.
Yeah.
Then they gotta live together.
Yeah.
Like that's a real social experiment. Do you feel
Right.
like you'll go on something
Oh
like
my
that?
girl, do I feel like do you know I signed up to go on Love is Blind?
You
I signed
did.
up for it. Oh no. I signed up for Married at First Sight.
Oh, I
Married
heard
at First
about
Sight,
that
yeah.
one. I can't
They
be
didn't
watching
call
all
me
these
back though. I mean, y'all
shows.
tripping because I make really good TV. Like I'm telling you, all the shows that I've been on, I've been like
I believe
the
you.
craziest, most vibrant guest.
Of
So y'all need to put me on
course.
one of these love shows so I can get my match.
Especially
I
because you're an actress too, so you're gonna bring
exactly.
what they
I'm gonna bring
need. You're
it. I'm
gonna bring
gonna
what
bring
they
it. So I
need.
wanted to go on I wanted to go on Married at First Sight because I like the fact that it was some like relationship therapists, relationship coaches that connected these people together.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, oh, I would trust, that
Yeah.
the things that I'm telling them is true and the things that my partner,
Mhm.
potential partner is telling them is true. And so
Right.
they connected us together. Like, okay,
Yeah.
let's give it a chance. I would say, yes, I do right there. Let's go.
I feel like now looking at the show and seeing how strategic it
Hmm.
is, I might would try it because it's not like you really have to marry these people if you really feel in your
Yeah.
gut that, it's not working out.
Yeah.
Because old girl, old Irene, my
Irina,
God.
oh
Yeah,
God.
Irina,
She
Lord
was
Jesus
so messy
Christ.
in
She was messy.
drama.
She needed to go. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
she did.
Yeah, she needed to go.
Yeah. But you
Um,
talk so that they're totally two different shows. Like I like both of them. I do like Love is Blind because for those of you who don't know, like they're literally in two separate pods.
mhm.
And for 3 weeks, I think it's 3 weeks or something, they're only communicating through to each other, just talking and things of that matter. So you really getting to know people and you have to be open and vulnerable. And
Like dating 24 hours a day.
yeah,
It's
dating, just
yeah, it's
dating.
real. And this is what the part that I was like, that is kind of cool because you are getting to know a person for this 24-hour a day. 3 weeks,
Without seeing them,
right?
yes.
Without seeing them. However, you know, when you're dating, you might see this person once a week, a couple of times a week, you might not talk to them every day. So it condenses the stretch out time that you would normally date someone maybe for
It
like
speeds it up, like,
it
let's go.
speeds it up. Like, because at first it's like, oh, that's too quick, but it's like, well, it condenses the
Yeah,
time.
because if you
So
think of it, that's like a year. That's a year of information.
right. That I know that had to be a mind F for them.
And this, especially in this world when dating is predominantly text messages. It's like, call me. We can have this conversation that's been going on for 24 hours in 5 minutes.
Child, I'm the same way. I don't mind texting, but sometimes when it's like, and I understand we all busy, you know what I'm saying? That's why phone call, but 30-minute text here and there, it's no.
Yeah. It's like, I'm 40 years
No.
old. I am old school.
Yeah, I'm
I
old
need you
school
to pick up
too.
the phone and
Every
call
so
me.
often. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's chat it up
My sisters
because
are 25. They're like, you so old. Quit acting like an old lady. Nobody dates like that anymore.
you can't really get to know a person
You
without
can't.
conversation. You just cannot. It's damn near impossible.
Yeah. And one of the things I don't like to do in dating, and
Mhm.
my sisters think I'm so weird about that. I don't like giving people my social media because yes, I do. I post a lot of stuff on social media.
That
Like,
is such a good. I'm glad you brought that up before we wrap it up.
yeah,
Go on
like
read
you
it.
can really get to know me on my social media. I want you to get to know me organically. I don't want you to go
Right.
get my book, but I want you to go get the book. The first
Hey.
33 One Woman's Journey from Trash to
Hey.
Treasure.
Hey.
But I want to have the conversation organically, not you just
Right.
knowing everything about me from my books.
I don't even want. Honestly, I don't even want someone to follow me on social media that I'm
Exactly.
dating. Like,
Yes.
especially not right away. Like, if it just happened, because sometimes you just meet people, being friends, cool, like, oh,
Yeah.
exchange, whatever. But if I had it my way, let's not follow each other because it just gets weird. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's no
Yeah.
point. Like,
Exactly.
it's just social media, guys.
Yeah. It's
That's a
just
good point you bring up.
it's too much. Too many. It's too layered.
It's too
It's too much
layered.
you can go into. Who's that like your page? Who put a little kissy
Right.
face under that picture?
Where
Oh,
you at
no.
today?
No.
Oh, you ain't answered the phone, but you didn't posted a story.
Yes, exactly.
That
part.
That part.
Then I'm on the messaging part seeing the last time you was on social
Right.
media.
It's just too much. It's too much. It's too
Yeah.
much. But yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So yeah, I'm open to dating and just having a revelation that I've been living in the past of
Mhm.
all the pain from past relationships.
Yeah.
I think that has really opened up just a cesspool of opportunities for me to go forward with in dating and in relationships.
Living in the wake. That is, if I was a
Man,
pastor, that is a ministry.
living in the
Living in
wake,
the wake, baby.
living in the wake.
Maybe
We gonna
that need to be a chapter in your book.
ooh
Living in the wake. That needs to be a
ooh.
chapter.
Oh, I
I'm
like that.
you
That
need to
may
do
be a
something
whole
with
book.
that.
That may be a whole book, honey. Living in the wake.
Living in the
Getting out
wake.
of the wake and into the driver's seat because you can't do nothing with the wake. You
Yeah.
can't do anything with the things of the past. Only time I think
Mm.
going back to the past is sensible is it when you go on to get a lesson.
When you're going to get a lesson trying to see why is this happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're trying to find a solution to what's going on present day.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe
Connecting
in
the
that.
dots because like I
Connecting the
said,
dots.
I was the common denominator in all of my relationships.
Yeah.
And it's like, how am I, what am I doing to attract such toxicity and trauma and drama into my life?
Yeah.
So it's just getting over that and allowing healthy relationships into my life.
Right.
And not only romantic relationships, it's with friendships, relationship with our family, things of
Yeah.
that matter, because I'm a true believer that the quality of your life is based on the quality of your relationships.
Dang, we should have went into
Different types of
different types
relationships.
of relationships, but it's all right. It is all right. I feel like before we close, I feel like I need to, and I think I've already done it because I had to figure out. I'm like, why don't my situations last? A
Mm.
lot of the times it's because I allow people to choose me. But
Yeah.
no, baby, I'm doing the choosing now.
Mm.
And I think that was a insecurity, confident type deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it's like, no, I don't have time. I will do the choosing.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah. Even with friends too.
Oh
Oh
God.
God. For
Oh,
years, I
see,
let people choose me. Yep,
might
same
had to have a
thing.
part two.
Part two, relationships.
You might had
This
for
is
real.
romantic relationships we're talking about here. Next time we're gonna talk
Yes.
about relationships with friends and families and the relationships that we create outside of romance.
Yeah, straight like
Yeah.
that though. All
Yeah.
right, y'all. We about to get on out of here. Follow us on all our handles. Pause and Proceed Podcast. We're on YouTube. Pause and Proceed Podcast. IG pause_proceed. And until next time, we're out.
Bye.
Peace.